Hello friends, and welcome to the next video. I have a question for you. What does a piece of broccoli and a drummer have in common? The answer to that is that we both use fractals. What are fractals? This is what a fractal is.
Before we hit the drums, we need to understand the math. A fractal is a geometric pattern that is self-similar across different scales. This just means that if you zoom in on a small piece of fractal, it looks exactly like the whole picture. You can zoom in forever and the same patterns keep repeating. It's infinite complexity built from an incredibly simple rule. Nature loves this stuff. Coastlines, lightning bolts, the vessels in your lungs, they're all fractals. But what does a geometry pattern have to do with a drum kit? Think about how we break down time in music. We start with a macro structure, the whole song. We break that down into sections, then into measures, then into beats, and finally into subdivisions. Look at this hierarchy. A single beat is just a miniature version of a whole measure, which is a miniature version of the song's phrasing. When you play a groove, you are operating on multiple scales of time simultaneously. That's structural self-similarity, but it goes way deeper than just counting to 4. It gets into actual physics of how humans play. If you program a computer to play a beat perfectly on the grid, it sounds dead, robotic, horrible. As humans, when we play, we make tiny micro errors in timing and volume. We call it human feel or groove. For decades, scientists thought that these tiny fluctuations were just random mistakes. Some styles of drumming embrace this geometric connection explicitly. Take jazz drumming or drumming from Africa that use complex rhythmic cycles all the time. When you look at advanced drumming or something like a nested 3-bar rhythmic cycle, you are essentially watching a fractal in motion. So why does this matter? Why do our brains crave a human drummer over a perfectly quantized computer grid? Because our our brains are hardwired to recognize nature. When you listen to a drummer who has a deep hypnotic pocket, you aren't just listening to someone keeping time. You are listening to the exact same math that shapes a lightning bolt or a coastline. We don't love music in spite of its flaws. We love it because those flaws follow the beautiful fractal geometry of the universe. Next time you're listening to a track and you can't help but nod your head, remember, that's the inner clock of the universe talking to yours.
Okay, now all of this stuff can get ultra nerdy. And before I get into the math of it, which I'm not a mathematician, and I don't think you have to explore the math of it that much, because it just gets you sidetracked into a bunch of stuff you don't really need to understand. Before that happens, I want to show you how to apply this stuff. Now, we're just going to take a simple phrase, okay? This is going to be the phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Dot, dot, dot. Right? Now, how are we going to use fractals with this phrase? It's something that every great player does. All right? I'm going to take you through let's say, a fractal of this phrase using a metronome. We're going to play in 4/4 time, okay? And I'm going to show you what you can do with rhythm and fractals, how they relate to each other. Why are you a piece of broccoli? All right, this is why. Okay, so let's get our metronome going at 95. 2, 3, 4. Simple enough, right? Dot, dot, dot. Now, we're going to start to fractal the heck out of that stuff. The first thing we're going to do is do it repeatedly at a faster pace. And how do you do that? You use something called the 3-bar cycle. Yes, sir, it's the famous 3-bar cycle. Here we go again. I've gotten tons of requests on how to use the 3-bar cycle, which I implore you to join my lesson site because it's all laid out there in many different ways. If we try to do one video about the 3-bar cycle, it's impossible because it's infinite phrasing mathematically. And then when you put it on the different voices on the kit, you have a whole other slew of issues that you have to confront rhythmically. And it would take, never-ending amount of videos. So it's all laid out there on the lesson site. Please join us, and I'm happy to see you there on the site. Now, we're going to take the 3-bar cycle, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, those of you who don't remember what a cycle is, it's a phrase that starts at a certain point in time, goes over a pulse or a bar line, and ends at precisely the same place where it started. The 3-bar cycle. Now, we're going to put this phrase inside that cycle. Da, da, da. Okay? Da, da, da. Right? Now, first, I'm going to play the 3-bar cycle again so you can hear it, and then I'm going to convert it into that phrase. All right? So here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1. All right? 2, 3. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so you'll notice we shaped that phrase by using a 3-bar cycle, and we put it into a structure, a rhythmic structure that can be used in music. Of course, there's lots of different things that happen here. There's melodies, there's permutations, okay? But we're gonna fractal it again, okay? We're gonna fractal it again, and now watch what happens. The same phrase, using the 3-bar cycle, but we're gonna do another fractal of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 3. Now, you can do it whichever way you want. Hand to hand. I'm using basically right hand lead kind of a concept. Like that. If you want to know what right hand lead is, go back and watch the right hand lead video here on the channel. All right, so you understand what that is. But so you see, using the 3-bar cycle, we can fractal that phrase into many shapes. And of course, using the melodies of the cycle, we can do that even more. So what else can you do with this? Well, you can make it larger, all right? So what you basically do is take one of the phrases out. Now, just watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm taking one of the phrases out and just not playing accents in it. Now, how do I do that? Well, because I have the phrases internalized, what I can do is just sing the phrase without playing it. All right, I'm gonna sing it out loud so you get an idea of what I'm doing in my head here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da da da. Da da da. Da da da. Da da da. Okay? Now, this, I hope, gives you insight into the amazing, incredible world of rhythm and how great drummers use it to express themselves. This is just one phrase, just one possibility. Imagine doing it all over the kit, using these bigger phrases and smaller phrases. Now, there's a term that we use for these things too. It's called augmentation and diminution. If you want to know more about that, watch the video here on the channel or join the lesson site, for God's sake. You know, if you want to sound like a pro, this is the study you need to do. What happens a lot in the West especially is that people get caught up in the physical, all right? In the physical of binary phrasing. Now this is what you call ternary phrasing. When you unlock the key to ternary phrasing, a whole other subdimensional world opens up, a fractal world, all right? When you are physically doing simple binary combinations, you are limited, extremely limited by that, all right? It's like an artist painting himself into a corner. You can't break out of that because you don't know all these other worlds that exist in parallel. And what happens is that it sounds super boring. What also happens is that any child can do that. If you ever go to China, like I've been to China many times, I see these kids playing in drum competitions doing every kind of gospel chop there is because it's fun for them and they can do it with not a lot of effort or thinking or musical talent. So that's why it sounds boring, and that's why it's much deeper to think rhythmically rather than to be in the physical world. How fast can I go? What combination can I do here and there to make it sound like chops? This kind of thinking is what's going to impede your progress as a drummer. So what you need to do is start thinking like a pro. Start thinking rhythmically. Rhythm is our home as drummers. This is where we live. This is the essence of drumming and, of course, of music. Fractals are everywhere. Fractals are in nature. Fractals are in plants, in trees, in your body, veins, on the planet Earth, on a coastline. Fractals are used in math to create the amazing things that we use on every day. Microchips, they're everywhere, okay? Now, when you play like this, you are an expression of the earth. You are expressing nature through your playing, okay? Now, I could go on and on and on with this, but I just want to give you a glimpse into this world so that you can start to realize the beauty of it and why you need to learn it. One of the biggest issues, like I said before in the last video, is people eventually, write me and they say, Phil, I see you're talking about this and, my solos are so boring and I'm so sick of everything I play. What's wrong? And they send me a video, and of course they're doing binary language based on licks, right? And basically 1-bar patterns or 2-bar patterns. As you could see in that example where I made the phrase slower, the potential for longer phrasing is enormous. Imagine you just change a voice on each one of the phrases. And when you do that, the duration of the cycle increases. Okay, so that said, my friends, if you need more insight into this, I'm going to do a little more of this type of thing, okay? So write me and tell me if you found it interesting. It can get ultra nerdy real fast, and that's something I worry about, because the main focus of all this is to make music, right? When I was young, sometimes I was confronted with all these things, and I would just get too confused, and I just want to play, right? I don't want you to lose that innocence. I don't want you to lose that passion and get too heady with all this. It can get really heady. So write me and tell me what you think. All right, folks? 1, 2. Peace. Do you love drumming? Whether you are an amateur or a pro, what defines your drumming will be what you put into it, the things that you're exposed to, the things in your culture and the people you run across. If you love drumming, check out my lesson site, the most innovative curriculum in the world. I have taught thousands and thousands of drummers across the world in some of the most highly regarded drumming cultures. Check out my lesson site and see what it's all about. From big band to rock to Afro-Cuban, Brazilian, one of the most complete lesson libraries on the planet. See you there.